Ve'ezras Hashem Yisbarach Yom Revi leParshas Vayeira Shnas Tovshin Ayin Ches Yeshiva Tiferes Avigdor. There's a nerdik Maisa that the Torah writes. Whenever you see a Torah write a Maisa, and sometimes they're extreme, and you might have thought that, why does the Torah write such a Maisa? See, you know what the word Torah means? Teachings, instructions. Do you know that, Daniel? No, you don't. Good. Know what that means to say? That every time you open up a chumash, you have to look, what are the instructions? Most people grow up, they have no idea that the Torah is a book of instructions. Oh, they think that somewhere in the Torah there are instructions. But there's a lot of stories and there's a lot of history. There's no history. Ein muktim amucha b'Torah. My grandfather used to always say, history is the most unimportant subject in the Torah. Not important. History is only relevant for the lessons that we could learn from history. The very biggest thing. That's why many people who presumed that the Torah was a history book have all kind of shilas on the Torah that it's not how you write history. A person looks at a guy holding a cane and he thinks it's a candy cane. Says, who makes a candy cane out of metal? Who makes a candy cane out of wood? Your Torah says Meikara, it's not a candy cane. It's a cane, it's the walking cane. That's how you make a cane. So yes, you grace akashas on the Torah, don't begin. Torah says a story that Elohim came to the house and he told Sarah that the next year, this time, you're going to be holding a son. And Sarah Imenu comes and she laughs. And Hashem comes to Avram and he says, Lama zeh tzachak Sarah. Well, why did Sarah laugh? Hayipolei me Hashem davar? Is it anything beyond the power of Hashem? Now, had I witnessed this episode, I might have said, listen, you know how many stories and episodes Avram Avinu had in his life? Thousands, millions. Torah doesn't record. Chazal don't record. Somebody once asked the Biskarov some kind of a shaila about the others. So he said, their shaila is nishtayr. People have a mistake. They think they can ask curious George questions. The only right you have to ask any question is if it's Torah. If it's not Torah, don't ask questions. And he answered the fellow, listen, it's Torah. But the guy says, but why? But why? So let's say a guy would ask a shaila, what did Avram Avinu ask for breakfast? That's not a Torah discussion. There's no shaykhs to Torah. What makes it not a Torah discussion? The fact that it's not a Torah. It doesn't say Avram woke up in the morning and he ate a couple of scrambled eggs, a couple of pita breads. It doesn't say that. So it's not Torah. You don't. It's not even talking divrei Torah. Just because you're asking a question about the Torah doesn't make it divrei Torah. Many times people would ask a kasha on the Gemara, and the Bishkar said, I won't discuss it. Know why? He said, das ist nicht Torah. Now, I asked my Rebbe, how do you know what's Torah and what's not Torah? No, he said, for them that comes out the Briskerov. The Briskerov was big enough to say, this is nicht Torah was duchetzt. And even questions that people ask on the Torah, it has to meet the criteria of a legal question in order to be able to be asked. Just because you have a curiosity, that doesn't entitle you to ask questions on Hashem. How come Hashem does this? How come when Hashem created the world, they do it this way? So you think because it sounds intelligent, it must be a good question. A lot of them are just kfir, but they're surely not different Torah. Here HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes and he gives a story about Sarah. I would have thought it's a personal ma'isa. I claim Chika ma'isa in Sarah's episodes, like thousands of other episodes Sarah went through in her life. She probably had stomach aches. She probably had some headaches. Maybe she had inconveniences. The Torah tells us very little about the others. The only thing the Torah tells us are things that are relevant, l'neitzach nitzachim, l'doiri doiris, and if it's in the Torah, it means it's hayra, it's instructions. So if this is in the Torah, it means it's instruction. So the Ramban comes and says, on the pasuk of Hayipolei Hashbe Hashem Dover, Hashem questions Sarah, is there anything beyond me? He says, Hayim Dover Nifla, V'rocheku, Sheyiyah Me'ez Hashem Kacha. Would it be amazing for Hashem to do this? And then it says, V'atechachesh Sarah Leimer, Sarah denied. She denied it. Ani Tama. I'm also amazed, it says, B'nevuos HaTzadekis, the prophecy of the Tzadekis, Eich techachesh. How could she deny something when Hashem said it clearly to a Navi? And also, why in the world did she not believe the Malachei Elokim? Why didn't she believe the Malachim? So the Ramban says, "V'hanira be'einai," because these Malachim appeared as people. Ka'arvim nidmulei Chazal said. They looked like Arabs. And they gave her this Besurah, Mitz Hashem, you'll be Zeicha to have a kid. And Sarah heard, and Sarah did not know that they were Malachei Elyon. He says possibly she didn't even see them at all. So therefore, Sarah looked makt this Zach. Stel sich vor, some schlepper comes to your house, a Goyish worker comes to your house, and you ask him, are you hot? And the guy says, yes. Would you like a drink? Oh, that would be wonderful. So would you like something to eat? That's already above and beyond. But like I find all my goitis, my wife says, you like to eat? He said, you never have to ask me that question twice. My wife said, why is that? I said, food is one thing we all love. It's a pella mamish. For scraps, they go mamish crazy. Old food. Food is ready, just royal achilas kelev. They'll take it over them. I always think maybe they give it to their kelev. No, they enjoy it. It's a pella. And then the guy would say that, and then in your house, your alte shviger is there, and the guy turns to the alte shviger and says, Grandma, how old are you? 93. Oh, 93? Wow. You have a wonderful family, Grandma. Are you alone? No. I have Grandpa. Where is he? He's in a bed. He can't move anymore. He doesn't walk so good. So he's laying in bed. Hashem shall bless you. You got a wonderful family. God willing, by next year, you'll have another child like this one. The guy's a retard. I mean, I'm just at 90, if you tell my husband's an alter Zocken, not functional anymore. Yeah. He said, the Ramban is retired to us. This is what happened to Sarah. VaHaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what would the grandma do? If the grandma said, oh, mean, you think she definitely lost her marbles. You think definitely lost her marbles. Definitely dementia is setting in. And she's starting to imagine she's a young girl again. She would laugh. He says that Hashem faulted her to Avram. And the Ramban says, what was the time on sir? Ramban says, Lama hoya hadavar nimna be'ineha. Why was this matter far-fetched beyond her in her mind? Viroila, she should have believed. It's possible. I don't say it's probable, but it's possible. If you have a wonderful child like Avram Avinu, wouldn't you want another one like that? And if you didn't have one, but you're waiting one for 93 years, wouldn't you want to have one? You say, Halavai. Sometimes I see ladies already in their 70s who never had children. And I always walk by and I say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm benching them, they should have children. And I think about this Ramban. But I never told them to their face. Because I'm afraid they're going to punch me in the nose. I once told an older woman, she was only 60, never had children, Mitzvah Shem, you're going to have children. She said, are you crazy? So I said, to me you look 40. To me, 40. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. But a person, the Ramban says, the tzchoik of Sarah was because she felt it was preposterous. It was beyond shaykh. Oy, all the Ramban says that Hashem expected her to say, Amen, Kein Yaseh Hashem. And over here, there's so many, the Torah teaching us an amazing factor. The Torah is teaching me that it's not a point I have to believe it's going to happen. It doesn't say I have to trust and go out and buy a crib when somebody gives me a bracha at 93 years old and I threw my cribs out 65 years ago. I should go buy a new crib for the upcoming baby. It's not what it's saying. What it's saying is you have to be maimin that it's shaykh such a zach, that the teva is not mishabed. Nature doesn't dictate any rules whatsoever. There's a bailim, even if the bailim never did it, but if he wants, he could do. And a person has to understand, Amen, Kein Yaseh Hashem. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that your lag was an indication. It weakened, you challenged, it appeared to challenge the ability of Hashem. The ability of such a thing happening. Sarah didn't believe that this Arab is going to give her the kids. The Arab in Shtaron, that Hashem should give her the kids. So the Nakud of the Tzchaik was, when a person believes that something can't happen, sometimes you're looking for something. You need something. Just now, we needed a battery. Battery. So somebody said, maybe someone has a battery. Now, I never carry batteries in my pocket. Not that I know. You carry batteries in your pocket? that most people that I know don't carry batteries in their pocket. But at the moment that somebody said that, I said, yeah, why not? Does anybody have a battery in their pocket? And somebody sitting there was in the middle of Aleinu, put his hand up, I got one. Somebody came forward and says, I have a battery, it only has 1 bar. It's not Chaim B'chiyusay. It's B'taikfay. This guy had a brand new battery in his pocket. I mean, Hashem was mazman that you think things can't happen. But things could happen. And even though you have no idea where it happened, could come from. Just today, a young man called me up. It's Yisroel. And he says, I know what's going to happen. Give me the shmooze. My wife is overwhelmed. She made a cheshbon that we have $17,000 of debt. And it's growing stronger. More than half of it is from rent they haven't paid in the last, 8 months. And the balabas never says boo. They live right next to him. He avoids them. I said, you know how? I told him once before. You know who did it? Hashem arranged the balabas. Who has a balabas doesn't take the rent? He waited a month for rent. Not to mention anything. You could come up with some rent. No, not a word. I told him it's not a matana. He's not giving me matana. So he said, what should I do? My wife hasn't eaten for 2 days. She lost her appetite. She says this is a very dangerous situation. I said, not dangerous. You know what I mean? What's dangerous? You're not getting kicked out of the street. You have food to eat in your house. What's dangerous? You owe the cheder money, you owe this money. He said, I wanted to just how to handle it. Now, 3 years ago, the guy had the same thing. Then it was 11,000. And I pumped the guy up that he's going to get the money. But out of Suffolk, I get him. This guy said, listen to a lot of shiurim and he mamish a choshving him on a big ben aliyah. 3 months later, he calls me up and he says, I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. I said, for what? He said, sending me the money. I was afraid to ask you because I was afraid you were going to send me the money. I said, I didn't send you the money. He said, now come on, send me the money. Pumped that amount. Some guy calls me up a week later after I spoke to you, who never gave me money. He says, there's money waiting for you in matter stuff. I went to bus, I went over there, and lo and behold, all the money I needed was there. I said, Hashem did it. Nothing but me. I said, the only thing I did was, I gave you the chizik and the emunah to make it happen. He said, okay, I know you. He said, you don't want to tell me. But that's how it is. That's how people are. They don't understand it. I told him, if you can believe that I would do it, that's a much bigger chiddush than if Hashem could do it. I don't have $11,000 to give you. But Hashem has got millions to give you, billions to give you. Hashem has all the money in the world. Why can't Hashem give you the money? And I have to tell you a story. It's a famous story of mine, but I got to say it again and again because it's a very powerful story. One day I get a phone call from a lady in Eretz Yisroel, soft-spoken. She tells me she's in a very dire matzav. And she says she has a shiur. I said, before you give me all the information, the problem is a lot of times people, when they call you on the phone, they want to give you their life story. Let me tell you who my father was and where he came from. Tell you my mother was and where she came from. Tell you all my brothers, my sisters. Let me tell you how I grew up. And then after 45 minutes, they finally ask you shaila. As why wasn't the game for me to know, but your father, your grandfather, your grandmother? It wasn't the game. So I tell them, please, ask me this question, what you have, and then I'll ask you questions to fill in the information that I need. So she said, my question is, can I sell my apartment? You want to sell my apartment? I said, where do you live? Live in Kiryat Sefer. Why do you want to sell your apartment? We're in debt. How much debt do you have? $8,000. That's not the worst amount of money. I said, why are you asking this question today? Why didn't you ask it yesterday? Did you get this debt today? No, we have it for a while. So she tells me, the debt we had built up to $15,000. At $15,000, we decided can't go any higher. We have to stop right now. So what we did was, we trimmed our budget. No meat, no chicken during the week. We ate yogurts. We're not buying any clothes for my 4 children. We get hand-me-downs. I said, what does your husband do? He learns. Is he a real learner or he's Yetzer? No, he's a Steiger. He really is a Ben Aliyah. So I said, how did you get down 15 to 8? I decided it wasn't going down. So I decided to help out, and I became a cleaner of houses. She said, I cleaned the other, I said, whose house did you clean? I cleaned other people's houses in Kiryat Sefer. I said, that's serious humiliation. Was it hard for you? She said, very hard. I hired myself out to clean people's houses. I've since heard in Eretz Yisroel, I once had this Talmud Chacham, Muflik. The guy wrote Svarim on Tiferes. He wrote Svarim on Kalim. The guy wrote Svarim on the Tzoyer and the Goyim. The guy knows, it's a Talmud Chacham Muflik. And one day when I was in Eretz Yisroel, I told him, maybe you know the cleaning lady. He said, sure. When do you want her? I said, I'll arrange it. She said, Erlich. I said, Erlich, no problem. She sends me the cleaning lady. My wife says, she looks like a Rebbe, and the lady came in. Who was it? This guy's wife. She does cleaning jobs for people. I felt terrible for the guy. This guy's wanting to tell me to come on our list, our monthly list. But it happened like it's unbelievable. She says she doesn't mind working for Americans. My wife says in her heart, she says, I don't mind working for Americans. You know, Americans like a different breeze. You know, clean for Eretz Yisroel, they you feel different. But here, this lady was an American, cleaning for Eretz Yisroel, this was like really bad. So, I whittled down the debt, $7,000. Now we owe $8,000. I can't do it anymore. Can't do it. So I said, do you have parents? No. I said, what do you mean no? I don't have a father. You have a mother? Yes. Where does your mother live? My mother lives in America. She's an elderly woman, and she has no money to help me. And we go back and forth. I said, I don't think that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to do this job anymore. She said, I have no choice. I said, it's humiliation. Not for yourself. You're humiliating HaKadosh Baruch Hu. She said, why? I said, let me ask you a question. Imagine if a lady came to clean your apartment, and you befriended her, and you asked her, by the way, what's your family name? She says, my name is Reichman. Reichman? Are you related to the Reichman in Toronto? Yeah. What relationship? It's my father. Which one? Moshe Reichman? Moshe Reichman, your father? You're cleaning houses? You know, I don't like to be dependent on him. He brought us up very comfortable, but you have to take care of yourself at some point in time. You have to have responsibility. You don't have to be a schnorr all your life. Now, I said to the lady, what do you think Moshe Reichman would hear that his daughter's cleaning houses? Would he be very proud of her? Even if he told her that she should be responsible and be a teacher, try her best, you think he'd be humiliated and upset? I said, he'd be humiliated and upset. He calls doors, how much you need? 15 grand? I'll send you a check yesterday. Why 15 grand? It's some change for me. That's what I throw out in the garbage can in a week. What do you want for my life? I said, could you imagine a HaKadosh Baruch Hu with all the money in the world, and you're a good person? I said, I asked her questions. She sounded like a very ehrlich girl, very, big bal shifas. Her husband was steiging away like crazy. I said, you're Hashem's children who Hashem loves, and you're humiliating yourself to go and collect? What's pshat? She said, what should I do? I said, stop this nonsense. So So her shayla was, what did they decide to do? Her husband said, maybe we should move. We'll move to a new development. And if we move to the new development, it will come out, after all the expenses and the cost, we can make on our apartment $8,000. So we'll pay up the loan. Sounds good. I said, if your husband's steiging, it's not what he's supposed to be doing. So I said, why don't you daven to Hashem? She said, think I don't daven to Hashem? I said, do you daven to Hashem like he's your father? She said, I don't know what that means. I said, you never heard of Avinu? You never heard Avinu of Rachaman? You never heard of Hashem? A father? She says, I don't know what a father is. I never had one. So you never had one. She said, my father was not around from the day that I became, aware of what a father is. I have no idea what a father is. I said, let me tell you what a father is. I said, a father is somebody who you look to support, he has the ability, he would help his children. If he has the ability, he would direct his children. He cares for his children. Kiracham avabanim, he says. Kein tiracham Hashem aleinu. What kind of business is that? What do you think? There's no rachmanas. I said, I want you to close your eyes, go into a room, and picture that the only father you have and ever had was Hashem. Look through your life and understand that the one who got you to where you are right now is Hashem. And you tell Hashem that I'm very sorry for causing humiliation and becoming a shiur house cleaner when my husband's a budding Talmud Chacham, a Ben Torah. What are you doing that for? I'm sorry, Hashem. And I'm turning to you, Hashem, please help me. But I said, you got to do it, get into the mindset, the exercises, getting into the mindset you have a father. I said, besides, Hashem is Avi Yisroel. If you don't have a father, Hashem says, I'm your father. You have a special connection with Hashem. Kitzur Amaisa, hung up the phone, I vinched to run, said to call me back with the good news. 3 weeks later, I get a phone call. I wasn't home. And the phone answered, rang, and she left a garbled message. I couldn't figure out what the message was. It took me a while to listen to the message over and over to figure out it was that lady. Something about money, about taxes, I couldn't figure out. I asked Hashem, could you please have her call me back? I would love to know what happened. A few days later, she calls me back. I was home this time. I said, I didn't get the message. What happened? She said, I'm holding in my hand an $8,000 check. I said, that's pretty good. How'd you get it? She said, I'll tell you. One of the ways we try to get a little money is my mother filed taxes for us in America. We're American citizens. So we filed some taxes for us, and we got back $3,000. When we got the check, we discovered that the tax preparer that my mother used, the accountant, was a very creative with numbers. And he made up numbers, he was a big Baal Machadish. And based on his chidushim, the government gave us $3,000. But according to what we figured out, we were only entitled to $1,000. So we had that check in our hand, we didn't know what to do. So we went to the Rav in Kiryat Sefer, when's the Rav? And we told him, could we keep the check? We didn't do the shtick, we didn't do the lie, could we keep it? And he said, send it back. Shocked. Could have, in that case, you could have, people in such dire straits, Toyasako, was. The kids they sent back the check, and they were waiting the $1,000 to come. When the check arrived, it said we redid your taxes. The government redid the taxes. You're entitled to $8,000. She says, I'm holding the check in my hand. I says, this time don't send it back. Hashem gave you that check. The government figured it out. They know how to crunch numbers. That's Hashem gave you the money. I told her, you learned the lesson now for the rest of your life. So I told this young man today on the phone, I said, it happened a few years ago, right? So I thought he was being Ramaz here, but you helped me then, maybe you'll help me again now. I said, Hashem's going to help you again. No suffix about it. No suffix about it. But a person has to, the more you get in a situation you can't imagine, how is it going to happen? How is it going to happen? It could happen, Keherifying, it could happen. Hashem could take something, Keherifying. Hashem could give you back something, Keherifying, doesn't make a difference. Without a shtadlis, without pu'ulas, just accepting the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a kol yochel. You have to think of those words, kol yochel. Kol yochel. I told somebody, kol yochel doesn't mean you act stupid. I knew of a woman who wanted to have children. She was past the age of having children. So she went and got brachas that she could have kids. I really thought the fact she got brachas messed herself up. I told her, rely on Hashem. Just rely on Hashem. Again, I told her, don't go out and buy a crib, but rely on Hashem. So she psyched herself out that she's having a kid. Because somebody gave her a bracha. She never had that kid. She was very upset. But I said, you didn't rely on Hashem. You have to rely on Hashem, that's what it is. If you rely on yourself, or you think if I decide I'm having a kid, that I'm having a kid, that's not going to make you have a kid. I can't tell how many people told me, I decided I'm going to be rich. I remember a fellow, I said, how do you know you're going to be rich? I decided. So you decided you're going to be rich? I said, I will bet you your probabilities are going to be poor. You're going to struggle. Well, Baruch Hashem, he's not struggling, but he's far from rich. Still on government programs. Person has to understand that everything there's nothing that Hashem can't help you with. There's no zach in the world that Hashem can't assist you with. Hashem is a kol yochel in jobs. You think in your life, you think, how could things happen? When we built our building, the yeshiva building, the only reason I built it is because somebody called me up one day and said to me, are you thinking of leaving town? I said, I was thinking of leaving town. I had gotten an offer from another town. He said, me and another fellow here, we would like you to start building. I said, build yourself a building. Where? He said, right on your property. We'll fund it. You build it, we'll fund it. I said, it costs money. It's not like $100 donation. So we understand things, business. Let's go build it. So we started to build it. And the guy at the end, we were 3/4 through the project. Yeah, and we were short about 50 grand. And they called me up one day, it's already a year and a half later, to get the plans and the programs. We decided we're withdrawing from the program. It wasn't built the way we thought, it wasn't this. I said, we thought you were going to boss me around? I don't know what you want from me. You went to the Baal Bata for me? I said, boss you around, what do you want? We wanted to be in charge of the program. I said, oh no, do me a favor. I asked you, you want to be in charge? He said, no. Now they wanted to be in charge. Okay. So I said, have no fear. So I appreciate everything you've done to me till now. Be well. My wife says to me, what are you going to do? I said, the first thing I'm going to do is notify the builder that the money is ran out. Money ran out. So the builder said, what are you trying to tell me? I said, I'm trying to tell you that the source of the money that Hashem gave the source till now has dried up. He said, should I stop? I said, no, I would like you to finish. I said, I'm sure the same way Hashem provided me with the money till now, Hashem will provide me the money in the next way. I have no suffix. He said, okay. He said, Rabbi, he was from Yid. He said, if you feel like that, your trust is good enough for me. I'm going to do it. Short while later, he just continued the job. I went out of town to speak. At the speech, was quite a wealthy person. And he came over to me after the speech. He says, "Can I have some of your time?" I said, "Sure, why not?" I said, "I happen to be, I split it, take a walk. I'll come by your house, stop by your house at a certain amount of time. That would be perfect for me." First day, "You don't have to." I said, "No, I'm happy to do it." Came to the guy's house, and he discussed his issue he wanted to discuss. And I didn't think he was going to be happy with what I said, because I wasn't telling him. He was asking me for a bracha, to be zeicher to a certain zach. And I told him, "I'm going to give you a bracha that you shouldn't be zeicher to that zach." He put his head down, wanted me to put my hands on his head. I said, "I'm giving you a bracha, me'oimek libi. You should not get what you want." The guy Babish was sweet. He said, "Why not?" I said, "Because if you get what you want, you're finished. You're going to lose all your olam haba. Your whole cheshbon is nishrecht richtig." I told him I have a Kabbalah of my Rebbe on this Indian. And I told him what my Kabbalah is. He said, "But the other G'dayla, I got brachas from G'dayla." I said, "You know why? Did you give him a check first?" He said, "Yes." That's the difference. He would have given me a check first. Maybe I also would have given that bracha. He said, "But I didn't come here for a check. I'm telling you the emes. And I'm doing your taiva." Because, loss and love, if you ever get that position, it's going to be the worst thing for you. A book I heard of my Rebbe, Mr. Levi, on this subject, mamish, on this zach, had a worst thing. The guy does ra, together with toiv, the toiv is not going to be machap on the ra. The ra is going to machap on the toiv. It's not going to cancel out. So he appreciated it. He said, "What can I do for you?" I said, "Very little." I said, "I'm an independent contractor. I don't go around raising money for my yeshiva. And I'm a free, free agent." So he said, "What do you have?" I said, "I have yeshiva." I told him about it. He said, "What do you want? I have any projects?" I told him we happened to be involved in a building project. She said, "How big is the project?" I told him he wanted how many square feet. He knew how to ask. This guy was in the building. He knew a lot of things. He asked me all the questions. How much the contractor was? Did you contract it yourself? Did you get a main contractor, subcontractor? I told him all the answers. And then he said to me, "And what are you going to do for the rest of the money?" I said, "The same way the first money came, I have no doubt the last money is going to come." I said, "I'll see what I can do." So you don't feel obligated. Don't worry about it. I left. The next day, he sent me a crumpled up check. A crumpled up check. For the full amount. The full amount. So, I told the builder, came back, told the builder, "Hey, keep going. Here's the money." Hashem is a kol yochel. There's nothing he can't do. You don't have to know what everybody else asking me, "But how's it going to happen?" I said, "If I was Hashem, I could tell you. But I'm not Hashem. I'm sorry to tell you. You have to get that in your kishkas. There's no chilik, whatever matziv you're in. That's what Hashem wants me to do. Anything is shaykh." Again, I didn't say it's probable. I didn't say it's even likely. It's highly unlikely. That's not the point. The point of Amunah is to believe that it's shaykh. That's what it was. If it's something that I want, something that I need, Amen, Kain Yehi Ratzon. That's what you said. Kain Yasa Hashem, same thing as Amen, Kain Yehi Ratzon. I say, this is what Amunah is about. This is what Hashem wants from us. And if you have this starkheit, and you work on it, it's not going to just be one easy street. It's going to take time, and up and down, and up and down. It's not just a walk in the park. But you'll get shidduchim for yourself. You get shidduchim for your kids. You'll have kids. You'll have a house. You'll have parnasa. You'll have every single thing. I mean, it's amazing how a person thinks, how am I going to have parnasa? Everybody has parnasa. What does that mean? Do you ever worry tomorrow you're going to wake up not breathing? Why do you think tomorrow you're going to wake up breathing? You know what? Because yesterday you woke up breathing. And most of the people you know woke up breathing yesterday and the day before. So that you're saying Hashem. But the Parnasa aspect, you're not saying Hashem. How come? Amamish means mind-boggling. Just look, the same basis you have for relying on Hashem in anything you have in your life is the reason to rely and believe in Hashem tomorrow also. Kadosh Baruch Hu should help us strengthen ourselves in our emunah, in our awareness of what HaKadosh Baruch Hu could do and what He's capable of doing and His power. And that will give us tremendous strength. And we'll go mechayel al chayil.